Thanks for joining us. This is Kane One for One with XBLA fans. I also have Pam and Snapplecap with me, and as well as Rob, the producer on Neverwinter. And I'll let him introduce himself real quick.
Yeah, sure. First of all, thanks for having me. I guess intros. Rob Overmeyer, executive producer of Neverwinter, PC, Xbox, and everywhere else around the world.
Awesome.
How's it going, guys?
It's going great for me.
Pretty good.
Now, Pam's been loving the game. She's been playing it every
Oh my
single
God, I
Wednesday,
love it.
basically.
Oh my God.
Nice.
Addicted. You guys have a instant fan.
Oh my God, I love the game. Oh my God, so much fun.
What are you maining right now?
My main character is a devoted cleric.
Nice.
I love the cleric class too. It's so much fun to play. I have a second character that's like a Scourge Warlock, and I don't have as much fun playing her. I just love my cleric so much.
See, my favorite part of watching you play, though, Pam, is still the names you give your followers.
Oh my gosh, my companions.
Oh my gosh.
It is one of my favorite parts.
Hey,
Companions are actually really cool in the game too. Like, I really like how you guys added the companions in there, so it's easy to kind of like run through the game by yourself until you get to like the group dungeons and stuff. Oh, it's awesome.
Yeah, definitely. Especially the classes that need a little bit more oomph, getting the cleric companion at early levels helps a lot.
Yes. Yes. All right. Do we have questions yet, or
Yeah.
should we just?
No, we can start with questions.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right. So,
Jump right
Rob, could you tell us a little bit about what your job is on Neverwinter and what you do, like, on a daily basis?
Yeah, I guess. So I'm the executive producer. I guess by the books, I hold the vision for Neverwinter and the direction of the game. I work very closely with my team to develop, design, and I guess conceptualize. I guess it'd be the reverse order there. What Neverwinter is and where it's going to go. So I kind of get to hang out and with a bunch of really cool and talented people, all that are pretty nerdy and geeky, all for D&D, and we get to basically just build stuff from some of the best parts of our gaming histories in Neverwinter. So that's pretty much it. On a daily basis, I kind of just sort of hang out and talk to folks, see how they're doing. There's a little bit of production work that I do, but for the most part, it's getting to sit in meetings, listening to a bunch of really talented people talk about cool things they want to make, and then we figure out how we're going to make them, and then I get to play test them a lot, and go from there. On the other side of it, there's the business side, which is not as fun as the creative side, and then figuring out what the different platforms are doing and where else we're going to go in the world.
Awesome. So, for anyone who's joining us who has not played Neverwinter yet, could you describe the Neverwinter game universe a little bit for us?
Yeah. So Neverwinter is D&D in Faerun, specifically on the Sword Coast. It's a action combat free-to-play MMO that. I guess primarily the story takes place on the Sword Coast in Faerun, all the way from the Well of Dragons down past Everesca, all the way up to Icewind Dale. So a lot of really cool, iconic places that fans of D&D, fans of fantasy, that would recognize sort of right away from all kinds of games and history throughout the years.
Awesome.
Is that good enough? I guess.
No, that's great.
There's a lot more to it. I mean, Everwinter's got tons of stuff, but
Yeah, no,
God,
like,
it's huge.
it's a free-to-play action MMO. That's tons of fun that everybody should download.
what would you say, though, for someone who is normally kind of turned off by MMOs? Is there something in Neverwinter that you think might make them want to try the genre again?
Yeah, actually, it's pretty. Neverwinter for me. I've played MMOs, my goodness, for a very long time. It's hyper accessible, especially on the console. Even on PC, it's accessible. But on the console, it feels really good. I'll focus on the console a little bit. The action type of combat and movement feels really good with the controller. and it's got a very fun and sort of uh, engaging solo game. But then there's also a ton of stuff that you can do with groups if you want to hop in and do an event or a call to arms or a skirmish, or even later on, if you're trying to min-max or build out your character with dungeon gear, that's something for you as well. But basically, the ease of entry into Neverwinter is probably it's been the easiest for me. And I'm a huge MMO fan. I play all the MMOs that come out in most of the closed betas, all the way through, and still play them now. But Neverwinter's definitely been easy to get into. It's a lot of fun, and then it sort of grows slowly. But it's a pretty fast game as well. You can find yourself making progress pretty fast, and if you sort of stick to it, you can actually make some pretty good advancement, and have a lot of fun while you're doing it.
Yeah, I always have that question too on when I stream your game on our channel. People always ask me if it's like accessible, if it's easy to get into, and I always tell them that like some MMOs can feel like a grind, but the levels come quickly enough in this game that it never feels like you're grinding. Like it's always fun and it's always kind of new, which is awesome.
Yeah, there's a lot of locations that we sort of that the player experiences in the early game, and makes some pretty rapid progress through some cool story and some pretty iconic locations in Neverwinter, the city of Neverwinter, and then pretty quickly we jump out into the Sword Coast, and yeah, it gets a little bit more difficult, but the grind isn't really there.
Right.
At endgame, and I think that coming soon to Xbox, we'll have more campaign type content where you'll spend a little bit more time and investment in getting some really cool gear and some rewards. But again, the content and the combat and everything doesn't really change. It feels accessible, and then when cool new things open up, like a new dungeon or something, it changes sort of the way the way you have been playing, introduces something a little bit new, but still at the core of it is you can get geared out and just rip through a bunch of stuff and have a good time and make some progress. So it's a pretty easy pick up and go game.
Awesome. So, what was the transition like moving from like PC to consoles? Was there any kind of like hardware control difficulties you ran into, or
yeah,
anything that had to be changed?
Yeah, I mean, definitely on the control side, we had to think a lot about what the controls were going to be. There was some cording we had to figure out. We wanted to create something that was, easy to use. Also, it made sense. And there's little bits and pieces here and there. I main a Great Weapon Fighter on PC. I also have a max level Great Weapon Fighter on Xbox as well as a Trickster Rogue. And the strangest thing for me was that L3 is a toggle and it's not on PC. So I basically toggle into sprint. And you were talking about being on a Warlock, and so toggling into sprint was a little bit weird, but there was no other place where we can really make it feel better. So that was the hardest thing, was coming up with controls that really felt good, that still had that sort of action-y, I can roll around, I can do stuff and feel like I'm having a good time, and not be cumbersome, like I've got to hold trigger and button and then move stick and then press stick and then I don't know how I'm going to hit A or X. It's sort of weird. So I love the game on a controller. You guys did an amazing job, like attaching all the spells and the potions. Like I played it on PC when it first came out, like a year ago on PC. But oh my gosh, I just love the game on the controller. It's mapped so well. Yeah.
Sorry.
Go for it.
Go for it.
So
there's a couple questions, but you go first. Sorry.
So back to the struggle stuff. I mean, we struggled with that. We struggled with making sure that we can have all of the stuff that we're sending back and forth between clients and our server and have the perf be reasonable and having our stability there. That was all stuff that that was new for us, and we hadn't had any other. It was our first game on a console, so figuring all that stuff out, at scratch was pretty rough, but I think we made a pretty good first foray into consoles, and a lot of those things we're not done, right? We got to continue to look at perf, and we've actually made some pretty big jumps, and coming up in an update really soon, for improving stability and perf. So the basics, like the back ends, were the hardest things for us to do. And then there's a lot of console gamers on the team and at the company. And we all sat down and played all these different configurations, and we were like really finicky about our controls. So that was the hardest thing, was pleasing the dev team.
Awesome. Just again, for anyone joining the stream, I noticed we just had a slight spike and a couple people asking who's talking. We have Rob Overmeyer here. This is also Kane141, which is John, and then we've got Pam Pandemonium, and Snapplecap's the one playing. So just let everyone who just joined know what's going on. So we're just talking about Neverwinter, and they also have some new DLC that's going to be coming out soon. So I believe that's Rise of Tiamat.
Yeah, so absolutely 100% free content, free forever. Download it. It just comes with the game. It's a patch, so it's not like something you have to go download separately. It's just you launch it, you're just going to download stuff. So it's a continuation of the Tyranny of Dragons storyline. In fact, there's 3 parts to the Tyranny of Dragons storyline. There's the Tyranny launch. Then there's Siege of Neverwinter, which is our most recent event, which is basically a large map with a bunch of heroic encounters where dragons are attacking. Hopefully you guys had a chance to play it over the weekend. And then the sort of the capstone to the Tyranny of Dragons story is the Well of Dragons and the arrival of Tiamat, who's the Queen of Dragons, and she is attempting to escape out of the Nine Hells, where she has been imprisoned. All sort of classic D&D lore, and really close to the Tyranny of Dragons release for pen and paper. So yeah, that's coming out really soon. It's got a ton of cool stuff in it. It's a new zone, cool new rewards, and then a really big fight with Tiamat with a ton of people on a map having to figure out how to take down her 5 heads. It was a absolute blast on PC, and I can't wait to play it on Xbox myself.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
So, how far should we expect the Xbox One to lag behind the PC?
So we're gonna we are. This is our first game. We're trying to do as good as best we can. We've got to learn a bunch of stuff about building for Xbox and CERT and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
But we want to actually get as close as we can to being lockstep, and that's something we have a plan that is going to take us over some time to get there. I think one of the reasons why we held back a little bit was we have a ton of content that was sort of larger scale, more people on a map with more things happening, and there were definitely some things that we wanted to do for perf and stability before a ton of players are just collapsing and using every single power at their disposal all at once. In one location, so we've got a bunch of really cool stuff coming to Xbox, but our goal is to get as close as possible from a release on PC out to live into CERT and then to Xbox.
Awesome.
So I think it's going to be a little while to get there, but we're definitely going to get there.
Yeah, that's cool. The most common question I've seen in chat, I've been watching it, is they're asking, will there be more achievements to the game when new content rolls out?
Yeah, so that was the first thing that was asked. We've got some pretty hardcore achievement hounds.
Xbox players, man.
So we were kind of like, what's our budget? So we're going to maximize our budget for every release we can.
That's awesome.
To get new stuff in there. But yeah, we were looking at what are our features for 2.0 and 3.0 and talking about going in the future. And the top question was, okay, first, but how many achievements for each of these releases are we going to get out? So with the release that's following Tiamat, we're going to get as many as possible in there. That's a huge update for Xbox gamers and Neverwinter players. And another just gigantic reason to come in if you haven't played Neverwinter. There's so much content coming in. It's basically a roll-up, getting really close to catching up to where PC is. So there's a ton of zones, so much content to do. And so obviously a lot of achievements. But we do have a cap, right? We're talking to Microsoft. There's only so many achievements we can have per update. So we can figure out.
Yeah. It's understandable.
We want to do more. Hey, we want to do more. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think most of chat wants more versus left as well. So a lot of the questions that I've been hearing is just like, are you guys going to do stuff like holiday events for Xbox One? How long are you planning on supporting it? Because I think a lot of people get nervous in the past that eventually games that are on both PC and Xbox kind of fall apart. I know you said you were going to try to keep, the two versions as close as possible together, but I guess they're just worried that they may miss out on some kind of content.
So yeah, I mean, we got so all of the events that we are going to run that we have run in PC, we definitely will be running on Xbox. We have our anniversary event coming up soon, and we've decided we're going to run it on Xbox as well. There's a lot of really cool things to do during the anniversary. It hasn't been, we haven't been live on Xbox for a year, but Neverwinter's been around. So why not have everybody celebrate in Neverwinter during our anniversary in June? And then absolutely all of our seasonals. It was sort of weird. When we launched, it was basically April Fool's, and we have a really cool April Fool's special event where you actually play as like D&D minis on a game board with our core or our main characters from from all our videos and stuff like Mako's and Celeste and all them, and they're up there like they're playing tabletop D&D and the players are on Pogs and everything. So very fan service and favorite, and we actually absolutely love building it. But it was weird. Like, are we going to launch with our April Fool's thing on launch day? That was a little weird. So we try to figure out where we can actually add it and not have to wait till next April. But absolutely, our summer event, Halloween events, all of our normal season events are going to be happening on Xbox. Our in-between events, we have sort of medium and small events as well, like Tamora's or Lyra's Challenge of the Gods. All those things are going to definitely happen.
There's so many hours during that Tamora event.
Oh, I get lost in Challenge of the Gods. Like every time one of those things drop, I have
my gosh.
Like, okay, yeah, I'll not use an encounter
I'll just
for the
keep
next
going,
5 minutes. So all of those things absolutely are going to come to Xbox, and as new events get created, things like the PvP event. Really want to get the PvP event to all the Xbox fans, and vie for glory and the best rewards. I know I love climbing leaderboards when I play games on Xbox, and so you see what we can do to get that to the fans as well. So Neverwinter here for a long time. Absolutely keep supporting it. Get as close as we can to getting the sort of the same updates on our platforms, and absolutely all of the events that we have made in the past and are going to make will definitely make their way to Xbox. Did that answer your question?
Yeah, no, that answered my question. It answered the questions that I see Zero asking in chat. He was asking if we were going to get like a 1-year event to celebrate and if we're going to have the same event days. So that's awesome.
Yeah, so we absolutely will have the same event. Like I said, it's weird. It's gonna be year 1, so it kind of fits. Year 1 on Xbox and year 2 on PC.
Free Diver wants to know if the stuff on the Zen Market that's leaving soon, is that ever going to be seen again? I've seen a lot of questions about some of the stuff on that, and if you could just explain it a little bit, that'd be great, probably.
Yeah, so on absolutely. So the goal there is to have some stuff come up, and then I think we have items up for 2 weeks, and there's like a last chance, and then it goes away. And then so we make sort of room to have new stuff come on. We have like tons and tons and tons of stuff on the Zen Market on PC, and it's a bit cluttered, and there's tons of stuff, and so we're just looking at sort of a different implementation for the Zen Market on Xbox, but all of those things have a rotation, so they will be coming back. If there are specific favorites, fan faves that need to stick around, I'm not one to keep them away from the fans. So, but definitely like feedback on the forums. We definitely look at the forums. So feedback about the Zen Market is appreciated, and we'll go through that and see what it is there. Like I said, it's like this is our first Neverwinter's Cryptic Studios' first console game. We're learning a lot, and definitely growing with the community is one of my main goals.
I've noticed a couple people have typed, "Can you explain soft caps?" in the chat. So
I'm not sure what they mean by that, though. I was going to
yeah,
ask for
I'm trying to.
clarification.
I was a little confused what they were asking per se.
Well, I don't. I could hazard a guess, and I guess if you're watching chat, maybe they'll say, "Yeah, that was it." Um, they may be talking about zone population caps.
Oh, okay.
So we have basically, I mean, it's a back-end thing, but basically there's we have limits, hard limits on the number of players that can be in a zone, and it's really for performance and late flag and all kind of other stuff. But also competition for the same content. I know I've played a lot of classic MMOs where you're sitting there waiting for a spawn for an hour
Yeah.
because, you know.
Well, that's one of the cool things is I was talking to someone before the stream and they were telling me that's one of their favorite parts is they've never had to like wait for stuff. Like there's
Yeah, and
not
if
the loading waits that I mean, I remember back in college watching a friend who played World of Warcraft and I think he spent 3 hours of just trying to get places, it seems like, or get
Yeah.
people on. And
Oh my goodness.
I haven't seen that issue as much, especially when I've been watching Cam on Wednesdays.
Yeah, I think although it's a little bit different for MMOs
Yeah.
in general, are the way that we instance maps and have more of them available and spread it out a little bit. If you go to a place and a mob isn't up or something's not there, you can always switch instances and go to another one, and get it there. So we have hard caps on our population limits, and then we have soft caps, which basically create room for your friends, guildies, and others. So what we try to do is keep friends and keep players that play together. So if you're in a group and you move to a map, often you'll notice that you'll move at different times or from different maps, and you'll end up on the same map. And if you hit the soft cap, you still have a little bit of I would go in and then I'd be the odd man out and I couldn't get in, but then we'd hop out of the instance and try another one.
Awesome. Pam, did you have any questions?
There were a couple other ones in chat. And it's kind of one that I have sometimes as well. So they were talking about how when you're in a group in a dungeon, the vote to kick system sometimes is really counterproductive to doing the dungeon. Like I was like the other week I was in a dungeon with 5 people. Like 2 of them started getting in this vote to kick battle. Finally they both got kicked, and then 2 other people got kicked. So I was the only one left in the dungeon at the final boss, and then 4 other people joined the group, but they're at the beginning of the dungeon. So they ended up kicking me because I was at the end of the dungeon, completely opposite of where they were, and I ended up not being able to finish that daily dungeon because of this kind of vote to kick battle. Have you
Yeah.
guys had any feedback on that, or are you guys
Yeah.
looking at different ways to implement
Absolutely. So our sort of top 2 issues that we have, and this is from our forums, from interviews like this, from Reddit, all over the place, where sort of lag spikes, perf, stalls, and that was all that one group, so performance,
that?
and then the vote kick thing is affecting people in different ways. So we're on top of both of those things. So what we've done, I think we already have right now, is a first pass at sort of stemming the sort of egregious vote kick cycle. Is that eventually, and it's just a first step. So we're looking at everything that we can possibly do, from completely revamping vote kick to things that we can do that are low-hanging fruit and try to help players, but also figuring out why kicks are happening and why people are kicking people. So the easiest low-hanging fruit that we can do without a bunch of new tech and new builds and all those things is we've put a cap on how many kicks a map will take. Well, first we put a cooldown on kicking. It's not the best solution, but there can't be this constant vote kick. So you can get into a map and kind of make your case. Another thing that we've done is added basically a counter on the map, and if people keep getting kicked from a map, that map will no longer accept anybody. The thing that I get on Xbox more than I get on PC is I'll queue, I'll get into a map, and then immediately I'll be back in PE, and it'll say vote kick succeeded. And so basically, if that happened to me a bunch, that happened to a lot of players a bunch. So if a map keeps doing that, then nobody's going to get sent to that map, and it's a dead map. So players that are being aggressive and kicking other players are just going to be alone in those maps. So there's also other solutions, right? Better communication of how to create a team beforehand. I think what I do is I go to PE and I spam LFG, find a group and go in there. Another thing that we've tried to do, that we implemented to make the queuing better, is to make sure that we're respecting queue roles. One of the things that was happening was I got kicked because the team really needed a DC, and I wasn't a DC, so they said, sorry man, we got to kick you because we need a DC. So now if a DC leaves, the queue system's going to look for another DC to fill that role. So these are small steps towards making it better. On the development side, not super long term, but the things that we need to actually run tech for is making it so at certain points of the map that kicks aren't allowed anymore. Obviously just before boss fight, or maybe even during a gather party where you have the purple rings. Once you get to the end and you've been there with your gang, you probably shouldn't have anybody get kicked. I mean, maybe there'll be some drops, or somebody's got to go, bio or deal with life, because all that stuff kind of happens. But there was also a couple. I've got some reports that players were getting kicked right before loot, so they failed on a loot roll. So looking at finding the spot in the map where kicks aren't allowed anymore is going to be, I think, is another really good step in the right direction.
Right.
So those are the kind of the things. There's some low-hanging fruit that we've already implemented, and it's out there now. We definitely need to message that better, like knowing the status of the map you're on. I got onto a map and I couldn't tell if I hit my limit or not, and there was 4 of us, and I said, I guess the queue might be trying to find. We needed a Guardian fighter, so I guess the queue was trying to find that Guardian fighter, and eventually it came through, but that wasn't communicated very well. So we can definitely do better there. But it made it a little bit better, right? Knowing that, oh, hey guys, if we just start kicking people, we're gonna be in a bad map. So why don't we just try this? So it's definitely on our radar. It's on deck. We are looking at it. We've implemented some low-hanging fruit, and we're looking to make it better with new vote rules and limiters.
Oh, awesome! Such a relief. Won't get kicked right at the end of the boss of Dread Vault now.
Yeah.
And do you guys have any kind of release date for the new DLC, or is that something you guys aren't sure of yet?
For Rise?
Yeah, for Rise on
TMS?
Xbox.
Yeah, actually, so it's we're shooting for June and July. It's a
okay.
It's a 2-parter, right?
Oh, it's a 2-parter. Sweet.
So the main story is in June.
Okay.
And then Tiamat shows up in July. There's a little bit of delay. You got to get ready.
I just asked that because I noticed one of the questions that popped up on Reddit was someone was asking for time to book off for work. He wanted to make sure he could just marathon it. So I guess he's gonna have to take off 2 days.
Yeah. So there's when in June when the module goes live, there'll be a countdown so you know when in game, so you know when Tiamat comes. She's on her way. And then after that, I think it's all secrets. But it's no secret what the content is for the PC, right? We have a number of module releases, and so our goal is that is very soon to get all of that content that was in the PC to the Xbox.
That's awesome.
So if you just look back at what's been on the PC, we've got multiple modules: Fury of the Feywild, Dread Ring, Icewind Dale is going to be one of my favorites when it goes to Xbox. It's absolutely my favorite on PC. because it adds open world PvP and PvP heroic encounters. It's awesome stuff. And even further from that, new classes and everything from Elemental Evil, all that stuff coming to Xbox in the coming months. And it's all free.
So exciting.
Just got to keep saying that. That's the weird thing. It's like I get the question a lot, right? Should I check it out? It's free. It's fun. Just download it and check it out.
Right.
You can go from starting to max all the way through with no gates. There's no like, oh, does my friend have this pack and I don't have this pack, so I can't group up? Or think, no, absolutely not. Just get in, play, have a lot of fun, meet some new people, tell your friends to download it too. There's like zero barrier to entry, except awesome. I guess your bandwidth.
Yeah, I always get that question a lot when I'm streaming it on Wednesdays too, is that people always ask like, well, is it a good game? Like, should I try it? And I was like, well, it's free. I mean, you might as well try it. They're like, well, yeah, but is it one of those games where, it says it's free, but you end up having to spend a lot of money to actually get to the end of the game? And I mean, I had a friend in my group the other night, he was level 54 and he hadn't spent anything on it yet. I mean, I've spent a lot on it, but if you don't, it's not one of those ones where you have to.
Absolutely not. I mean, you can experience everything in the game without ever spending any money. We do have microtransactions. I guess we can, we'll sort of throw the towel or the sheet off that one. I mean, we have microtransactions. We have convenient stuff. We have costumes. We have mounts. We have all kinds of cool stuff. None of that is required to have fun in the game, get to max level, experience all the content, and that's one of the things that we pride ourselves on.
Right.
That's awesome.
We have a couple questions in chat about, so I haven't done Lost Mouth yet, but they said that there are some blues dropping from the epic boss. Have you guys heard reports of that?
Blue drops from Lost Mouth?
Yeah, the epic boss in Lost Mouth.
I've heard it now. Sending email.
Yeah, no, there's like 4 or 5 people now.
Yeah, there's several questions about that. I haven't done Lost Mouth yet, so I have no idea, but apparently that's a thing.
It's one of my favorite dungeons. The story behind it, when we came, a little bit of a background from the dev side. So we came up with the dungeon for Lost Mouth. We talked a lot with WotC about what we can do. We learned some really cool things where dragons can have control over their lairs, so they can, like, as the adventuring party is going through, the dragons can actually basically make their lair come to life and, like, say, wall, fall on that group of people, and fire spout, just happen. So we have like these really cool traps. There's multiple different paths that you can go, and it randomizes each time. And there's different sort of like jump puzzles or fireball traps that you've got to figure out how to navigate through and fight, pretty tough guys. But the fight itself at the end is so cool. We have this dragon who is absolutely just fiending and crazy over gold. So he's got like these piles of gold all around him, which of course dragons do, but he also has molten gold all around him, and his hands and his claws and his beak and his horns are all coated in gold, like he paints himself with molten gold. So that we had this idea of this dragon who was like just loved gold so much that he basically would paint himself gold, so he was no longer a red dragon. And the model came out great, and the boss fight is super cool because there's like areas where molten gold pops up and it creates these areas of denial. It's really, really cool. You should play it.
I will play it. I can tell you that.
Well, but Lost Mouth I haven't done yet. It's a tier 2 epic though, isn't it?
Okay. You just got 60, I think, like, 2 streams ago? Because it was like 3 a.m. my time, and I'm like, why am I watching you play Neverwinter?
Yeah, it was only a couple weeks ago, so I actually can't even do the tier 2 dungeons yet, but I'll get there and then I'll try it. But yeah, I guess there's just some blues dropping from the epic boss in Lost Mouth, but I don't know. I haven't played it yet.
Alright. Well, I think we need to start wrapping things up here, but I just want to thank you again for stopping by and chatting with us. And was there anything else you'd like to just share with the fans?
Yeah, I guess just to sort of repeat, there's a lot of stuff coming to Neverwinter and Xbox One, and we're trying to come up with new and cool, exciting ways to get cool promos and giveaways to our fans on Xbox One. So look forward to that. And then also keep the feedback coming. The dev team works as close as we can, and maybe we can even do better than that with the community, looking at the feedback. So we actually go through the forums. We have all of the development staff on my team goes over the forums, looks at the feedback. We look at it every week. So give us your feedback. Tell us what you think. Tell us what you need in the game, and we'll get working on that. There's also the future for Neverwinter is super, super bright, packed full of awesome stuff for Xbox One. So so get in there and get your epics, get ready, because there's gonna be more to do, and including level cap and beyond. So it's really exciting for Neverwinter, and we're very excited to be on Xbox One and have such cool fans.
That's awesome. All right. No pulse. All right.
Do you have the feedback website, the forums?
Do I have them?
Yeah, I'll get that from
do you know
Alex,
what the website
and
is?
I'll post
Oh,
it
okay.
in chat afterwards.
Yeah,
Okay,
I mean, yeah.
We just had someone asking for it.
No, yeah, someone was asking about it, and I'll make sure they can do that. But we're gonna probably end the Skype call here. I just wanted to thank Rob and Alex for stopping by, and I think JJ is gonna keep playing for a little bit, get some more levels in Neverwinter. I think he's only 31, so he's still got to catch up to Cam so that he can do some of these epic bosses. So I just wanted to say thanks again, and I think we're gonna wrap this up. But thank you guys.
Awesome. It was great being here. Anytime you need, man, I'll hang out and
Awesome.
chat Neverwinter.
That's fantastic.
Oh, great, because I could talk about it like all day, probably.
She literally does.
Yes. So,
Between Smite and Neverwinter, our channel is like
great.
a little obsessed.
Yeah.
nice.
Thank you.
All right, thank you guys.